I want to bring back my panel. Danielle Moody, former Representative Katie Hill, and Brendan Buck. So, Danielle, what kind of impact do you think this debate can have, and who has more to lose, especially as we see such tight polling in many of these key states?
I mean, I think that J.D. Vance has a lot to lose, right? He every time that we have seen him in interviews, whether it's the misogynist junket that he went on in early 2020s to now at rallies, he continually insults women, insults people without children, insults the queer community, the Black community, so on and so forth. And so I think that for him, this is a major moment, and so much so that during the presidential debate, Donald Trump even distanced himself from his vice presidential pick. So for him, it's an opportunity for him to step up, to show that he's worthy of being in that second spot. Transportation
Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Katie, is helping Governor Walz prepare for this debate, even playing the role of Vance. Buttigieg, of course, known for his debate skills and taking on the hosts of Fox News. What do you think the biggest thing is that Walz needs to learn and keep in mind going into Tuesday? And let me just add, Tim Ryan, who debated J.D. Vance twice in the 2020 campaign when he was running against him for Senate, he said, don't underestimate him. He's an intelligent guy. And so you've got to be on your toes, which makes me think that Tim Walz has got to keep, J.D. Vance's feet to the fire.
I do agree. I mean, he's smart. He's not stupid, but he is he's somebody who will pander like no other. He's shifted his positions on everything. And I think Walz pointing out how much he is going to contradict himself with whatever he says that seems to be positive. He has said something opposite that in the past. And frankly, Vance just doesn't come off as trustworthy. His favorability is 37%. Walz is a likable guy. He's a dad. He's a football coach. He's a teacher. He just needs to stay favorable, not get caught in any traps, and he will do just fine, in my opinion.
Okay. Give me your thoughts on the debate, Brendan.
Yeah, debates are hard. Debates are weird. Debates are awkward. It's political theater. And for both of these guys who have, done a little bit of debating, but not a lot, I think this is a big moment for them. Do VPs change who people vote for? I don't know, but it certainly can change what we're talking about for the next several weeks. As J.D. Vance has shown, he as well can get us chasing the bouncing ball. So I think J.D. Vance is probably, underestimated in this space, and he probably has a lot of upside here. He's got a really low favorability, so maybe there's only one way to go, but up. I think he's a smart guy. I think the real key here is who can stay on offense, who can make the other defend the positions of the other. If you're J.D. Vance, that's a tough spot. You don't want to have to be talking all about Donald Trump's various crazy things he says. But similarly, I think Tim Walz has a lot of difficult things he's going to have to defend, namely Harris's changing positions.
Okay, I want all three of you to weigh in quickly on this. We'll go Danielle, Katie, and Brendan. Trump's latest money-making scheme, this new line of watches, including a gold one costing, are you sitting down, everyone, $100,000? Since entering the race, he's made millions of dollars just hawking items from trading cars, golden sneakers, even Bibles. Is this because he needs the money or just wants it by branding anything and everything he possibly can? Danielle?
I mean, he's a grifter, Alex, so he belongs on the home shopping network, not in a presidential race. But do I think that Donald Trump needs the money? Absolutely. I think he needs the money. You know how much money he owes everybody on all of his court cases? So, yes, I think that he absolutely needs the money. But this is HSN worthy.
All right. Katie?
Totally agree. He does need the money. He is in the hole, and the fact that he's relying on his supporters in these really ridiculous ways to close the gap for him is just insane. Can we imagine if Kamala Harris was suddenly like, I'm hawking jewelry this month, and the comparison just would never happen, right?
No.
So I don't know. It's just a joke, and it continues.
Brendan, last word to you.
Yeah, it's deeply embarrassing. I mean, I send stuff like this to my Trump supporting Republican friends, and they just don't want to talk about it. The one thing I will point out is there's a real chance that if Donald Trump doesn't win this election, he could face jail time. And the fact that he's wasting time doing stuff like this instead of doing everything he possibly can to win this race is amazing. It's maybe not surprising, but it is still amazing.
Okay, but if he loses, he could maybe get a show on the HSN. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Okay, guys, good to see all three of you. Thank you.